it says, why eat high protein snacks? Eating a snack that includes protein can help create feelings of fullness, stabilize blood sugar, and deliver a steady supply of energy in body of the brain. That is true. It's really more of a chemical signal in the brain, which is where hunger comes from, because hunger is really an addiction. And it's an addiction that the brain is engineered biologically to process to sustain itself. Um, but when you have too many carbohydrates, you turn off some of the signals to the brain that allow you to balance things, because carbohydrates don't really have enough oomph like vegetables and fruits and protein to really power your body for 24/7. That's why you go up and down, up and down. But let's continue reading. Healthy protein sources for every snack. When it comes to protein, a key macronutrient required to help fuel our bodies, we often think of animal-based sources like meat and eggs. That is completely true. However, there are tons of plants and plant-based foods that contain plenty of hearty protein. These are sourced by mixing nuts, whole grains, seeds, and beans. This is true. However, there's a problem with this. So it is true that if you're vegan or vegetarian, you can, get protein from these sources. Okay. The problem is that they're not in high density. If you were to read about protein for meat or for vegetables or for whatever, if I take a slab of meat, like a steak or a chicken, it's got dozens and dozens of grams of protein. If you're eating certain amounts of proteins for nuts or seeds or beans, that's true. But like, if you had a little small cut of chicken, the amount of greens and beans you're going to have to eat is like a bowl. It's an actual bowl. Now you'll get tons of fiber, but that's where there's a balance. I think there's a balance here. I think there's a sustainable way to have animals and protein and get the vegetables in. I lean meat heavy just because I box, I fight, I train, I'm very active, I go to the gym, I lift weights. And the reality is that for most people that are actually beating up their body or doing really strenuous things, you're just not going to get enough nutrition or protein off of beans, okay, or pieces of lettuce. You need both because my favorite thing is a salad, but the fiber and the vegetables are really great for cellular health and just like sustaining the cells for like having water and nutrients and things that are typically you can supplement with a multivitamin. But if we're talking about protein that replaces bones or muscles, tissue in particular, and sustains like the cartilage, you're going to need to eat some form of meat if you're an active person. I know very few people that are able to be vegan solely without having at least fish or at least eggs, practically speaking, for most people. Let's continue. Here are the best high protein snack food sources, both plant and animal based. These are probably, let's read through it, but lean meats, great. Poultry, yeah. Eggs, yeah. Seafood, yeah. Peas, this is fine, but you're going to need, like I said, bowls of this stuff.